Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries. That wizard came from the moon.
Oh, all right, the moon. Right, yeah. Got it. That line about that wizard came from the moon is flying everywhere around the internet. You can get it on t-shirts. I think I might get one. But it kind of sums up a lot about Destiny to me. When we were told that we were going to get the Destiny beta, I had a bit of a hard-on, which is kind of like a hard-on except with feelings and shit. And I was this close after a few days playing it of sending in like a bit of a selfie to Bungie and saying thanks. But after a few days, after a while, started to get that feeling, you know, like that wizard came from the moon. It's like, really? Just like underwhelming, you know what I'm saying? I could have been playing Mass Effect, I could have been playing Borderlands, I could have been playing Warframe, I could have been playing loads of different games. It's and like Destiny's had this like massive budget thrown into it. And is it really? It's kind of what we're left with. So I've actually cancelled my pre-order, and I'd like to know what's happening with you guys. So I am going to be making some criticisms. Now, I don't want this to sound like it's a terrible game. It's not a terrible game. And there's going to be loads of people who get a whole load of fun out of it. And that's great. That really is good. And I hope that anyone who buys it really enjoys it. But here's my reasons for why I'm not getting it. And feel free to tell me what an idiot I am. Or feel free to get me excited about the wizard coming from the moon. So, issue one I'm going to look at is the characters. The different characters that you can select. They don't feel that different. Whether in PvE or PvE, most of what you're going to be doing is using your guns. I'm going to talk about the guns a little bit later. But you get to use some abilities and stuff, which is kind of cool, but again, a little bit underwhelming. We've seen it all before. I think character abilities that I've seen in other games have been much better. Again, Mass Effect, Borderlands, like Warframe, and there's some other ones that I just can't quite think of them right now, but there are other games that have given us better characters. The characters here, they feel dull, they feel flat, and I love games where we can make our own characters. I really do. Give me a game where I can dress my dolly up and I'm as happy as anything, but not this. It's just a bit meh. I mean, we get these super jump things, you know, you can jump twice or you can jump and then glide a bit. But then if you're gliding in this sort of slow-mo movement, all it does is makes you a target because you can't sort of hover and fire down. Now, I understand that later on in the game, much later on in the game, when you've unlocked some more progression, you will be able to unlock that as a skill. But why cripple us from the outset? Why give us these fun movements of, you know, the super jump and being able to jump twice, etc., etc.? Why give us all that stuff, but kind of take away the one interesting aspect that there would be to be able to actually, you know, kind of like drift up and shoot down? That would be awesome. But as soon as you do that, as soon as you go into aim down sights, down you go. What the hell's the point of that? I mean, the bottom line for me here is that although yes, there is some customization, virtually every other game that I've played with that has customization has ended up with a character that I give a fuck about. And it just didn't happen in Destiny. Now one thing that I can't seem to get my head around here is Destiny supposed to be a social game or not? We have this social hub in the tower where you can't actually socialise. You get four different emoticons you can use. One of which is sitting down, waving, pointing, and dance. Keep the dance. The dance is funny. I like the dances. But what is the actual use of those? You can wave at somebody and then what? Talk to them? No, not unless you go through a rather tedious process of adding them to your fire team. So if you've already got two mates with you in a fire team, you can't actually then add them and talk to somebody else. Or you can, but you're not going to be able to go and play like free roam with them or anything. You're not going to be able to go and complete missions with them. You can go and do multiplayer with them. Alright, let's talk about the multiplayer. Right, the first thing that strikes me about the multiplayer is the horrible, ugly maps. I mean, really, guys, they are ugly. Now, alright, I'm ugly, I know what I'm talking about, but the thing is, I'm ugly, but I didn't have $500 million spent on developing me. Seriously, the maps look like kind of something that Crysis was aiming for, except they don't do it as well. Gears of War looked better than this. You know, I like the concept of destroyed beauty. I think that was Gears of War that came up with that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I like this concept of seeing a civilization that's been destroyed. But all we see is some tedious, like, brick buildings that have been destroyed. And they make no sense. I'm not talking about a real world like our world, but there's no immersion there because they don't feel like places. They just feel like somebody has plonked down a point saying, right, capture this. Alright, what is it we're capturing? One kind of wrecked building amongst some other wrecked buildings. They're just ugly. They don't feel like they make for good gameplay. They don't feel like they make any sense. There's kind of platforms that are put there purely just to jump on that make no sense at all in any kind of real world setting, even if it is a fantasy world. It's just meh, just totally uninteresting, uninspired, insipid, flat environments to play in. The moon was good. I liked the moon a bit, but again it's destroyed, but it has respawning vehicles. Where the fuck are these vehicles coming from? Because everything around there is broken. So your multiplayer experience is going to be these different factions that are fighting over these territories that have no resources, that have no strategic value. They're just places for a punch-up. That's all they are. It's just like choosing like which bar we're going to have a fight in tonight. It makes no sense. Now, I don't know if this is down to poor weapon balance or if it's down to poor netcode or the fact that it's running on peer-to-peer servers. But basically what happens is the majority of the times that you will die will be either from a one-hit kill or from a two-hit kill in a very, very short space of time. Now, when you're shooting at somebody else, though, what happens is if you're using some of the more interesting guns, like say I like to use a scout rifle, I like each shot to count, but it will take me an entire clip to kill somebody. So how come? How come when they're shooting at me, they're killing me in 2 hits? Well, basically what I think is happening is that those shots are hitting me, they're registering me, but the update on the game is so slow is that I don't actually know I'm taking damage until I'm dead. It's not fun. It's not fun. Now, we've got these special abilities that we can use in battles, which are all guaranteed, you know, one-hit kills and stuff. Okay, that's fine. But the problem there is that if somebody's having a good game, now, it might be because they're a good player, or it might be because the kind of netcode is favouring them at that point in time. They're going to get these one-hit kills quicker and quicker and quicker. And somebody who's struggling is going to be getting them slower and slower and slower. It's bad game design, it's bad balance. But I really do think there's some horrible netcode going on there. I don't know if there's going to be any ability in the full release to be able to sort of choose servers and stuff. I suspect that there isn't. We don't know if there's going to be sort of private servers, private lobbies where we can kind of make our own game types up and stuff. Nothing's been said about it. Maybe there will be, maybe there won't. But judging by the beta, I think the multiplayer experience is going to be pretty horrible. There was times I had fantastic games and times I had a terrible game, and they would happen one after the other, and it wasn't because one game I was playing well and one game I was playing bad. I don't mind that. I can live with that. But playstyle didn't change, competition didn't change. It's just sometimes the connections were favouring me and sometimes they weren't. So even when I did well, I never felt that I did well. I felt that I had this huge sort of backup of shitty netcode working in my favour. Underwhelming. That wizard came from the moon. Again, when we're looking at multiplayer, you have this super jump, but there's very few places you can get to with it. It's there. It doesn't move you forward any quicker. It's just something you have. Like it's like a kind of like a dodge mechanic. And by the way, a dodge mechanic would have made much better use of the direction keys than having an emote. Those emotes are entirely useless, apart from the dancing. I did mention that, keep the dancing. The dancing is fun, but the others in a multiplayer battle, they're just entirely, completely, 100% useless. It's taking up real estate in the controller. Is that really the best use that you can think of to make in the game? Because that's, again, it's bad game design. You'll see somebody firing an auto rifle and you'll see the bullet spray going you're in the middle of it. And you'll still go down. You can see that their bullets are flying everywhere but actually hitting you. But you still go down. Oh, my God, before I go away from the multiplayer, that commentator's voice is just like so annoying. It's so intrusive. It's so much louder than the other audio in the game. And because of the design of the maps, with capture points being about 2 seconds travel away from each other, capture points are going all the time.
Zone A lost. Zone B
You've
secure.
gained point B.
Enemy captured
fucking
Zone
do,
A.
because like half a second after that you're going to hear, you've lost point B. Oh, come on, man, it's so fucking annoying. Now, I know a lot of my friends are going to be getting Destiny not for the PvP, but they want to do the PvE, which is fine, you know. Everyone should just enjoy what everyone enjoys. But again, I just found it really, really flat, really insipid. At first glance, it looks really nice. There's some nice lighting effects. The sky can look nice. But it's so empty. And I know this is like a destroyed world. I know this. But it's just so empty, so boring, so tedious to go around in. The little hoverbike things, the sparrows, they're fun for a while to move around in, to get you from point A to point B. And there's a lot of going from point A to point B. But, you know, there's nothing there. You get these occasional loot boxes. You get enemies spawning in the exact same times, in the exact same groups, no matter what. You can clear them out. And if you clear out a group of enemies and you spend a minute going through your infantry, the enemies are spawned right there back again. It's like, why? What was the fucking point of clearing them out? Because they're gonna be there back again. And there was a lot made of these different factions within this world. They're gonna be fighting each other, but they don't fight each other. They hang around looking at each other, waiting for the player to come in and trigger off a fight. But you can see them just kind of like standing there looking at each other, firing a few shots at each other maybe. But it really doesn't draw you into it. It really doesn't. Unfortunately, it's been really badly done. Those factions, those sides are never going to make any progress against each other. They're just locked into this like Groundhog Day experience. And as the player, that's what you're going to have, a Groundhog Day experience. I liked Groundhog Day. I thought it was a really good film. But I wouldn't want to watch it for every day of my life. You kind of get what I'm saying here? So you have these enemies that look different, but they're not really like adopting different tactics or anything. They're just people to kill, just things to kill with what behind it. It doesn't feel like you're in an immersive world. It doesn't feel like you're in a story. They're just targets to test out your new guns, and your new guns aren't that great. They're not that different. They're kind of put there for a sense of progression, and it's going to be a shoot and loot game, and if you like shoot and loot games, that's absolutely fine. I'm not here to tell you you're making a wrong decision. I'm just explaining why it just isn't for me. Oh, boss fights. God, how could I forget the boss fights? Now, in the beta, granted, we've only seen one real kind of mission where there is like these boss fights to take on. But again, just so tedious. They don't have, you know, good tactics or strategies or anything. They're just these massive bullet sponges, and the only strategy that works against them is don't get too close, keep your distance, and fire some bullets at them. And eventually they'll go down. It's just like a war of attrition. Eventually, you'll get them down. No feeling of accomplishment or yay we did well, or yes we did that in a clever or imaginative or creative kind of way. It's just pour bullets into it and eventually it'll go down. Or it might teleport somewhere within the same confined game space, and again you just pour some more bullets into it and eventually it'll go down. I don't know, it just feels like stuff that we've seen before countless times and often done better. Do you remember the demo that we got? I think it was pre-E3 or it might have been at E3. I have the world's worst memory. But it was where we had a player, or there's two players, and they said, hey, such and such is going to join us. And there was this cool flyover where their ship came in, and they came out of the ship and they landed down on the ground. And they all kind of teamed up and went in to go and fight the bad guys. And that was really cool.
Hey guys.
I mean, you know, it kind of like felt like something was happening here. But what we actually get in the beta is something entirely different. Now again, this may change in the full game. But what happens in the beta is if you join somebody and they're like halfway through a mission. You won't join them halfway through a mission. You'll join at the very start where they were, and now you're going to have to make your way through all these enemies that will have respawned in that mission to get to meet and catch up with your friends. That's not what was shown. That's not what was kind of like promised to us. But it just feels wrong. It's like it's tedious. Right, I'm not going to turn this into a rant. I don't feel butthurt. I was looking forward to Destiny, but there was other games that I kind of got to hear about at the same time I got to hear about Destiny. Games like The Division, Assassin's Creed Unity, Far Cry 4, Rainbow Six Siege. There's loads of good games on the horizon, and there's loads of good games for me to look forward to. But I did have Destiny on pre-order. I thought Bungie were going to do a fantastic job, and I don't think they have. I don't think they've done a bad job. It's not like a horrible game, but it's just a game that I now no longer have any interest at all in playing, and I cancelled my pre-order. Now, what's your opinion, guys? Do you think Destiny is some next level bullshit? Or do you think I am talking some next level bullshit? Get your opinions down and let me know what you think. This is Muppet Out. Take it easy. Ciao.